everyone, I'm Kimberly from Dirt Floor Fibers, and welcome back. It is Saturday, April 5th right now. As you notice, your view is a little bit different than usual, right? You're like still in the car, but not the same one. March was rough. Not gonna lie to you, not the best month ever in existence, but we're alive and on the other side of it, so here we are. And as you can probably tell by like my super like red and whatever face, it is hot outside. It's 82. I'm not ready for like this jump in temperature, and especially because I cannot even explain to you the pollen situation right now. Like, leave me a note in the comments. Are you experiencing pollen like never before? I was actually driving, so I'm in Williamsburg, kind of sort of right now, like on the edge between Williamsburg and Toano. I'll tell you why, hang on. As I was driving in, I got like up over a bridge near town I have to drive through, and I'm like, something looks weird up there, like it's like kind of haze. Oh, no. Rolled up the windows real fast, and just as I got up over the bridge, wind came through and you could see the pine trees like sway, and this cloud of like yellow green poison like drifted out. It was, oh my gosh, the pollen is so bad. It's absolutely horrific. But anyway, also probably why like the face is red, because we're gonna have like the poofy allergy face for a while. But anyway, so I'm trying to get through allergy season here, but it's also somewhat related to pollen, the Dogwood Fiber Trail going on right now. And so basically it's a Virginia kind of like yarn crawl, and it's 9 days, 7 cities, I think is what it is. And so if you go online, dogwoodfibertrail.com maybe, they're also on Instagram. You can kind of see what's going on with that if you're here in Virginia. It started yesterday. I just went to my first location. I'm at Yarn Matters in Williamsburg, and I made my first purchase. I also got my map. Hang on, let me pull it out. I was going to download it and print it, but it was like full color, and I'm like, my printer's not handling that. So basically get like this little map, and you fill out your information on the back, and on the inside you collect your little stamps as you go along. So I've already been to Yarn Matters, right? And at the end, if you make a purchase from each one of the shops on the trail, you can enter it in for like a big grand prize drawing, and then each of the shops is having a separate like little prize drawing sort of thing. So like I said, I kind of by accident started in Williamsburg. My original plan was I wanted to make a whole day of it. Real tight budget right now because I got a new car, and so I'm not allowed to like actually buy anything for like 10 years at this point. But I still wanted to go and do the trail, and I've already broken down and like not done any filming. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna be terrible about this, but I'll try my best. So I was gonna start down in Norfolk, and I was gonna work my way Newport News, Williamsburg, Ashland, Midlothian, Fredericksburg, Charlottesville, make it all the way through. Hang on one sec. Whew, sorry, my nose got me for a second there. Anyway, and make my way kind of across the state in that order. But today I'm supposed to work tonight. Words, they make sense, right? I was supposed to work tonight, but I think ticket numbers might be low enough that I might be able to cancel myself. That seems pretty greedy of me, but at the same time, like, it's my day off. Anyway, so I'm gonna go in. I've already seen the sheep. They got their food. They're covered in pollen. Bless their little hearts. I'm gonna have to come back with clean water, because like their water, every time the wind blows, pollen just falls into it. So poor Cornelius has like little pollinators around his nostrils and everything. Oh, they look rough. But anyway, I guess that's why you don't have a black sheep, right? They turn green in pollen time. And so anyway, so as I was heading back into town to go to work for a few minutes to see if I could greedily cancel it myself, I happened to be driving past Yarn Matters anyway, and so I wanted to make sure I could get a physical trail map and all of that good stuff. And so I stopped in, and it's a really cute store. I don't shop here very often through no fault of their own. It's just not usually the type of yarn that I'm looking for, and you know, the more I dye, like the more picky I get about stuff. But a couple of things that I really like about this shop. Number one, they do have a nice little community knitting night sort of thing, so check that out if you're in Williamsburg and you want a place to go and knit. But they also have a really large selection of earth yarns, so all those like really cool like self-striping sorts of things. They have all the sock kits and whatnot, so that's always really great. They also carry hedgehog fibers, And so I don't think I've seen any yarn stores that I've ever shopped at. Now granted, I haven't shopped at like a ton, like I'm not a connoisseur of yarn shops, but they actually have a selection here, and I've never actually seen that in a yarn shop where I've shopped. So anyways, if you want to check out those two brands, definitely come out here to Yarn Matters. I think I'm going to save all my purchases for the very end and then show you once I've hit all the shops. I'll try to do more filming, but we'll see what we can do. I did take a couple of pictures though. There was a really cute, what did I take a picture of? There was a cardigan that I thought was fun that was crocheted. It was like a granny square. It looked like one of those like hexagon sweaters. But instead of being out of like the really bulky yarn, it was out of a fingering weight, which I thought might be kind of fun because I do want to find something where I can showcase fingering weight yarn in a crochet pattern. And then I did find a shawl in the Earth Yarns. I took a picture of it because I thought it was cute at the time. I have a couple skeins at home that I had a plan for, but I've kind of changed my mind on my plan, or maybe I haven't. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, so I took a picture just in case I thought it would be something cute to use my Earth Yarns that I have at home for. So anyway, not the point. Let's go into work, see if we have the rest of the day off, and then maybe we can hit a couple more yarn shops. Fingers crossed. All right, change of plans. So that took longer than expected. It is now, I can't tell, oh my gosh, almost 3 o'clock, I think. I can't see. Oh, there it is, 2:54. So there is no way I'm making it to both Fredericksburg and Charlottesville by 5 o'clock. So rather than try to like hit one and then whatever, I'm gonna see if I can head south, I think. Because I really wanted to do, I don't remember which one it is, the Village Knittery, I think is that one, in Newport News. I want to do that tomorrow because they had like a fancy coffee truck. But I also want to do Ashland tomorrow because they're gonna have alpacas. Maybe I should just go to Baa Baa Sheep down in Norfolk, because by the time I get there, I might only have time to do one. All right, let's go to Baa Baa today, and then we'll make a plan for tomorrow. I almost left my wallet in the car. Would have missed that. All right, it was a little rough getting here to Baa Baa. My GPS took me through like some back roads that like, I don't know, we're not conducive to driving. But here we are, and we'll go see what it's like. Oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. So I didn't film. I took a few pictures of some things that were cute. As I was walking across the street filming, the person who was sitting in the front of the shop saw me. And so like I walked in, I started browsing, and I didn't realize she was talking to me at first, but she was like, oh, were you talking to yourself as you crossed the street? And I'm like, I had a FaceTime call. So needless to say, I did not pull out my camera while I was inside. Super cute shop. Well organized, people inside were super lovely. I don't know if this is a store that I'll come back and shop at regularly. If you live in the area, I mean, sure, go for it. I'm not saying like don't come. It's a super cute store. Like I said, people were super nice. Didn't really have my kind of cup of tea in terms of yarn styles and tastes, but it wasn't bad. Had some blue sky fibers. Do I have that name right? I think I do. Or Woolstock. Woolstock? I don't know. I'll look it up and I'll put it up on the screen. You know what I'm talking about. Which I always like their yarn, so that's good. And they had a couple of tweeds. I don't remember the brands. But lots of like commercial sorts of yarn, not necessarily so much like hand dyed and whatever. They did have a Kin Dyes yarn trunk show, which I could have sworn when I saw it online it said they had fiber, but they might have just meant like yarn fiber and not like the fiber for spinning. Or maybe that's coming on a different day. So I was a little disappointed. There was like literally one hank of fiber in the entire store that I could find. And there were a lot of like kind of one-off random sorts of things. Like there was a fabric cup yarn holder. I use it for like snippets, or I'll use it for like my spinning fiber. That looked like it was from Cottontail Farms. It like looked like their fabric in that style, but there was only one of them. And it didn't have, and it was just weird. So again, I don't know that's my favorite store ever. They do have some cute samples. I found two shawls, two shawls. One's more of a cowl that I'm hoping to look up, put it over here. I think it might be one skein, but it looks cute, so that's kind of on my list of things to look into. And then there was kind of a shawl that I liked. I may or may not put it up here, that I thought you could maybe use with minis. And then there's one that looked like it's more like raglan shaping, but it was small, so it would like just fit around your neck. And it was a combination of 2 different types of yarns, like a fuzzy and then a regular. So I thought that might also be interesting for like small one skein sorts of projects. So put it up here as well, maybe throw in a link. They were also doing some like how-tos on how to do a I-cord. And so she was teaching somebody when I was in there. She's like, do you know how to do an I-cord? And I'm like, yes, thank you. So I did not join the how-to, but she was walking another person through it. And they had basically like little kits for like stitch marker bracelets where you just basically made like an I-cord and then you attach your stitch markers to the I-cord, which is a cute idea. Again, not something that I'll probably invest time doing but a cute idea nonetheless, especially if you're just learning how to make an I-cord. So yeah, so that was Baa Baa Yarn, or Baa Baa Sheep down here in Norfolk. I did make my purchase. I got my stamp. It is $4.19, so we're gonna see if we can hit the Village Knittery. I won't get my coffee, but that's okay if it saves me some gas and some mileage. So we'll get driving, see if we get caught in traffic, and I'll let you know when we make it there. All right, so this portion deleted all of my audio for whatever reason, but as you can see by my GPS, why yes, we ran into some traffic. Take a look at that, 1 hour, 2-minute traffic jam. So that was super fun. So needless to say, we did not make it to the Village Knittery on time. This is all very stressful. I am like 45 minutes behind at this point in time, because I had to do payroll this morning and I forgot about it, and then I had to stop and get gas. But it's okay, we're here now. We are at the Village Knittery. Kind of, sort of. Parking situation was a little weird, I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're here. Look how pretty. Sorry, I had to stop talking. I got nervous. There was somebody else who was walking up the sidewalk. But yeah, it's like all narrow street parking, and I'm still not confident with the truck. So yeah, but anyway, we're here. Yay. All right, it is hot and windy outside today with the pollen still flying, but we're back in the car. Again, I'm gonna save all of my purchases until the end so you can get one large haul, medium haul. It's not really a huge haul, but whatever, I'm behaving myself. However, super cute shop. Again, super, super small, so not a wide selection. They did have a nice table of twice-sheared sheep stuff, so I don't know if that's in there all the time or if it's just like part of their trunk show. They did have a trunk show from Cesium Yarns, which I always love their colors. The colors are so pretty. I'll see if I can pop in a picture. I particularly liked their, I've already forgotten, I just looked. It's the Muppets Take Manhattan color, and I also really liked their Enchanted Village, I think is what it was called. Again, I'll put the name up if I'm wrong. But those particular ones had nylon in them, and so I was like, ugh, I don't really want that. They did have, I don't know if it was a sport weight or a DK, I didn't really look, but that was 100% merino, but it was a little bit heavier and I didn't really have a project for it, so I didn't grab that. They did have some really cute like samples, but none of them were labeled, and so I couldn't figure out what they were, because there were a couple of shawls that were crocheted, it looked like. So I'm gonna have to go and do a search and see if I can find those crocheted shawls, because they were cute and I want to do something in crochet with a finer weight yarn. I also had some really cute tote bags. I didn't take a picture, but they had like some drawstring ones that had like these fuzzy sheep on them that were really cute. But I did really like the Seize the Skeins of Production tote bag. And then they also had a Village Knittery like shop bag, which was also super cute. I did resist and I did not get either one of those. Did make my purchase though so I could get my stamp. And then I walked all the way back to my car before remembering that I forgot about my coffee. So I went back, and this place is called Sunseekers, okay? And I'm intrigued. We're gonna test it and see how it is. But on their sign, it was like canned lattes. And I'm like, why am I paying like a small business coffee place for a canned latte? I'm confused. So I'm like, you know what? I want coffee, not like a lemonade or anything, even though their lemonades look good. I'm gonna go for a canned latte. So I got the caramel cream, which was caramel and vanilla. It's my go-to, right? They can their own lattes, guys. How efficient is that? If you're working out of this little teeny tiny trailer and you don't have like all this space for cabinets of milk and, you know, things of ice to make iced lattes and whatever, So we're gonna open this up. I've already given it a shake, and actually it's interesting. It's plastic, I think. Maybe? I can't tell. So not as nice as something fully recyclable, but oh my gosh, sorry, I'm blocking you. I can't do this, hang on. All right, that was a little bit of a struggle bus, but we've got it. We're gonna take a sip. That's good. That's good. I like that. So this would be really good if you had like your own mug with ice in it and you poured it over the top. But I don't have that. It's not an option, so we're gonna drink straight out of the can. Super fancy like, right? But yeah, Sunseekers, check them out. So we stopped to take care of the sheep, and look at little Cornelius eating his green. What a good boy. They also got more water, and I depollined the solar panel so that the solar panel will actually charge again. Woohoo! But now I'm behind. Hi! But now I'm behind schedule, but that's okay. Because you're so cute. You're so cute. It's time for someone's dewormer and vaccine, isn't it? Isn't it? Look how polleny my shoes are. Everything is pollen. Everything is pollen. Look at your nose. Ugh. I know. And of course, Amelia's eating her grain too, yeah. Yeah, are you a pig, not a sheep? Uh-huh. Ah. I finally got my shears in the mail, so I should, next week at the latest, be able to actually give her a clip, which is good because it's getting pretty warm outside. So I forgot that I did not finish telling you about the last yarn shop before I left. I got too excited by the coffee. But there was one more yarn that I saw there that I really liked. It's called Scout. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before, but I'm gonna have to look up the company because it's not like, it's ringing a bell, but I can't place it. But it's a 100% wool. It feels sheepy, like not like a bad sheepy, like a good sheepy. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Blue Sky Fibers, wool stock sort of thing. But I think it feels a little bit lighter and a little less sheepy. It was a weight 3, so I guess like a DK or sport weight. Yeah, it was real nice. They had some nice colors too. Basically, I'm on the lookout for something, not in the budget right now for a sweaters quantity, but I'm on the lookout for something to do the Traveler hoodie from, is it Andrea Mowry? And I feel like something in like a really, sorry, I'm out of breath from hiking up and down the path. I feel like something that's kind of like neutrally, but like, I don't know, like a nice color, but like a solid neutral and like really sheepy yarn is what I want for that particular sweater. So I definitely think if it's the right weight, because I don't even know what weight it's supposed to be, but if it's the right weight, that could be a contender for that sweater. So yeah. All right, so this is center of the Yarniverse. Again, I didn't film inside because it was pretty crowded, but gotta tell you, if you're in the Ashland, Richmond, whatever geographic area, or if you want to shop online, because I do have an online store too, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. Huge store, gorgeous, lots of light. People inside are absolutely fantastic. I adore them. It has nothing to do with the fact that I also do trunk shows here on occasion, but it's a really awesome store. It's one of my favorites, kind of in the Virginia area. So trunk shows going on today. I don't know if they're technically a trunk show, but I found 3 new yarns. I'm gonna be going back and forth because lots of details, but I don't have a pen to write them down, and so I have to like look back at the photographs that I took. But trilogy yarns, super cute. The bases looked nice, but they had nylon in them, so not really my thing. I'll pop a picture of one of the ones that I saw. And then there's also Blue Savannah. They had a merino cashmere nylon blend, which was also very nice, and I'll pop up a picture there as well. They also had a Keenan hand-dyed yarn trunk show. Again, they had a sock yarn with nylon in it, but I did really like their Superwash BFL DK. Again, I didn't get any of it, but I grabbed a picture, popped it right up here. So they're also a brand that I'm not really familiar with. They also had a big display from Skein Coats. which I did not grab one because I'll tell you why later. They had really nice fabrics if you want like a skein minder sort of thing. And the one that I almost got, I might come back at some point. They had mini versions of them for like your small, I think it was 50 grams and smaller. Probably would work for like your 20 gram minis as well. I didn't test it out, but they only had a few colors left and they weren't really my cup of tea. So I didn't want to spend money on something that I didn't like super love. But just so you know, Skein Coats has both a full size and a mini version as well. What else did they have in there? Oh, and I discovered, I say it like I discovered it, I didn't discover it. They had at the store, if you're looking for a more kind of economical commercial yarn, they had these skeins. Let me check what they're called again. All right, so it's called Color Burst, and it's like a cake or a ball. And they're a wool acrylic blend, mostly wool though, and it had a really nice feel to it considering that it has, you know, a decent amount of acrylic in it. I'll pop up the label. It's 200 grams in one ball and it's only $20. They had some really pretty colors. Again, it's not necessarily something that I would go for, but if you're looking for something that has wool in it, has a nice wool feel to it, pretty colors, but you for whatever reason want that nylon blend, maybe you're making like a baby sweater or not nylon blend, acrylic blend, maybe you're doing a blanket, maybe you're doing a sweater, maybe you just need something that's more cost effective. Anyway, it was super pretty. So I'll pop in a picture as well of what that looked like. So that could be an option. And then they also had some cute samples. They always have really cute samples, but the one that caught my eye was a scarf. Again, I'll put a picture and I'll put the name and everything, which I felt like if you did it in a really pretty like linen blend or a silk blend, lightweight yarn for summer, like that would be really cool, like a tank top and just around, oh, it'd be so cute. And then the tank top that's shown in the picture, again, I'll put up the names and everything here. Not really my personal cup of tea, but I liked that layered look. I don't think it would look good on my body. Not something I would go for. But I don't know. It looks intriguing as a construction if you're looking for a little bit more of a challenging summer knit without being like too overwhelming. So anyways, those are my two favorite there. We're running behind schedule, but we're going to keep on going. And I think we're going to head over to Dances with Wool next, which is my other favorite store. All right, so just finished at Dances with Wool, and I'm so disappointed in myself. I broke down and I got yarn. Again, we'll show you that as part of the haul. Finally got to see the Ships and Birds and Ships cowl that's on my possibly, I can't remember if it's on my possibly to make list for this year or if it's on my one skein option list, but either one. Had it in person, got a picture of it. Don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know, I didn't like it in person quite as much as I liked it on Ravelry, but it's not knocked off the list yet. It's still a very interesting shape. Had lots of trunk shows there as well. They had their usual Little Fox, but they had a bigger selection. They used to carry a large section in the store. It's kind of shrunk over the years, but they had a big trunk show here. They did have the willow base, which I'm so mad about because I used to dye that same exact base, which is a hemp merino blend, but the company that I got it from discontinued it. So I don't know if the dyer for this brand just bought like a crap ton of it when it was being discontinued and they still have some left, or if they found a different supplier that has the same merino hemp blend. But I love it. It's a sport weight, really nice, highly recommend. But like I said, so it's Little Fox, they're willow. And then what else did they have? They also had, and I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's like the camp something or other that does like all the little buttons. She was there. I have to stay away from that booth because I want everything because it's so much fun, especially if you like knit your own Girl Scout sash sort of thing and you put your buttons on it. That's in my future at some point in time. And then Sea Change Fibers was also there with a trunk show. I think they said that they were out of the Pacific Northwest, and I found another contender for another possible crochet shawl. The shape of it looks really interesting. It's a triangle, but it looks like it starts like center out to make a triangle, and then you do like an edging, which I thought was really interesting. So I took a picture of that. So that's definitely a contender. Their yarn was also very nice. Liked that. They had a oh gosh, what was it? Hang on. Yeah, it was a 100% Falkland merino base. Really nice. So it's soft like merino, but it had a little bit more of the sheepiness to it. So I don't know if maybe it just wasn't super wash, but really, really liked that. Then they of course had the Emma's yarn there as well. They had a bunch of kits. They had the show colorway. I do really like the minis for the show colorway, or not the show colorway, but the Fiber Trail colorway. The only problem is that the pack is $85, and that was just not on my budget. But also all they have are like the merino or the nylon blends. Same thing with like the main skein 100 gram. I really wanted to get like the 2 and make something out of like that set, but it just, again, it has the nylon in it, which is not my favorite. And so I just wouldn't enjoy working with it as much as to offset the cost of it, if that makes sense. There was also a trunk show from Terrapin, which is what I got my yarn. They're all plant-based, and they had a really cute crochet bag. I decided not to get that because again, I'm on a budget and I don't want to like overspend, but I took a picture of it. I think it's a free pattern. And so if I want to go back and purchase more from Terrapin, I totally can. Although I feel like they're also usually at like Maryland Sheep and Wool as well. So I think maybe possibly I'll have to go on their website and check and find out. And then they also had like a DK cotton, which was really nice. They had a cute cardigan that they had made, but it takes 7 skeins for like the size medium, I think. That's a lot of yarn for just a cardigan. But it's, again, crocheted, and you know I'm collecting ideas for crocheted cardigans. And then they had a really cute shawl made out of their 100% tencel base, and that's the yarn that I got. It was just so pretty. I'll show you that as well. So anyway, excellent choices there. Oh, and I found another contender for my traveler sweater. Okay, so it's called Fleece from the West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's 100% British Blueface Leicester, it's a DK weight, and it also has a little bit of the sheep feel to it, but it was super soft. So I felt like that could be a contender as well. I think the sweater is technically sport weight, but DK and sport are really, really interchangeable, right? Does anybody pay attention between the two of those? So that's also a possibility as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, it's 3:03 right now. We are cutting it real close. I'm gonna see if there's even a possibility of hitting either Fredericksburg or Charlottesville today. And we'll see what our options are. Thank goodness I had set myself a budget, because otherwise I was going to spend all of my money in that store. They have so many good things. I'll probably pop up some pictures and I'll have to do like some voiceovers because I can't remember it all. But they had cones of silk yarn. They had La Bien-Aimée. They had hedgehog fibers, which, as I said before, like nobody ever has in store. Now I'm discovering all these other places. So yeah, so that was really exciting. If you're in the Charlottesville area, I would definitely recommend stopping in. Got my purchase, got my stamp. Not going to have time to get to Fredericksburg tonight, obviously, but that just leaves me something to do tomorrow. So let's get back to the car and find food, because it's like 4:40 maybe at this point, and I am starving. I don't know where my car is. We'll find it. All right, so I tried to like video myself as I was walking and talking, and then I got like nervous and sounded stupid. So we'll do a recap now that we're back in the car. Yeah, oh my gosh, guys. Thank God I set myself a budget. Otherwise, I would have spent like $500 in that store. First of all, they've got so many cute bags, like not even to lie to you. I took a picture, I'll put one up of what the like brand was. I don't know how expensive they were. I didn't have the guts to like dig in and look at a tag, because I knew regardless of how much they were going to be out of my budget range for today. But so cute and so well made. They're like a heavy canvas. Ugh. Anyway, they had embroidery stuff, they had embroidery floss, they had kits, they had like baby toys and like baby gifts in there, they had stationery type stuff, they had sewing kits, they had like, this store had everything. The yarn selection, like superb. It's not a huge store, but the types of yarn that they chose are things that I really love. So again, you know that I said before that I liked Yarn Matters because they had hedgehog fibers, which you usually don't see like in store. You have to order off the website. They had it in store. La Bien-Aimée they had. I think there was a brand called maybe Ito. Like, don't quote me on that, but it's the yarn. I forgot the word for yarn. Yarn. It's on the cones. It's 100% silk, I think. I'll put up a picture and a tag. So nice. They had some gorgeous samples because they also had that same brand in like a fluffy yarn, and they had like, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. It's so pretty. What else did they have? They had, you know, the Blue Sky fibers. They had, what were some of the other brands? I don't even know. But they also had some brands I hadn't heard of before. And again, I can't remember what they are, so I'll pop up a picture or two right here so you can see. But lots of options, lots of gorgeous bases, stitch markers, pins, like little gifts for people, great needle selection as needed in a yarn store. I could totally imagine going and buying yarn for a new project and then going and finding something to eat, sitting outside at the little tables, and just kind of like casting on your new project. And it seems like it would be absolutely delightful. I had forgotten how much I like Charlottesville. Like, it's fairly easy to navigate around here, until I got to like this particular section that I'm in, where there's like a closed off section of the city, so it's all walkable, but like the little houses are so cute. There's sidewalks, there's, you know, bike lanes, super cute. The only thing I didn't like, I'm in, it's called Air Garage. It's the parking lot that's paid. $5 for 27 minutes. So I don't know if there's like a minimum, but it was like $4 something in theory per hour, but then for 27 minutes it charged me $5. So not super happy about that. I'm glad I hit end parking as soon as I got in the car, because I was not paying any more than that to park in this stupid parking lot. But if you're in the area, definitely come check it out. I gotta tell you, so obviously my favorite stores are Center of the Yarniverse and Dances with Wool. Love the people inside. The stores are big, bright, airy. I gotta say, this is gonna come in number 3. If I lived closer, it might be number 1. I don't know, but definitely number 3 on my list. The people inside are fantastic. They were super friendly, super helpful. I was trying to remember the name of a shawl that I saw yesterday at Baa Baa Sheep. I couldn't remember the name for it. I wrote it down, but like I couldn't, like I looked it up and I couldn't find it. It turns out I transposed 2 letters in it, and I turned out I didn't like it. Apparently it was fuzzy and plain, but it was a worsted weight with the fuzzy, and I don't know, it looked better in store. Maybe the one in the store used a lighter weight yarn, and that's why it was smaller, because the one on the model in the picture looked bigger, and it suddenly didn't look, I don't know. I'm gonna let it go though, because if I don't know for 100% sure, I have too many other things on my list to worry about one that I'm not sure about. But anyway, so they were but anyways, I couldn't find the name. And the woman sat down on her computer. She's like, I'm gonna look it up on Ravelry for you. And then she started like Googling. And then she's like, you should just call the store and ask them what the name of it is. So I did, and that's how I found it. But anyway, I was gonna get yarn buyer for it, but turned out I didn't like it. Anyway, I'm rambling. It is almost 5 o'clock at this point. So that means we are definitely not making it to Fredericksburg. We're gonna have to go there another day. I'm thinking I might wait until payday so I can expand my budget back out again. But we'll have to see, because that's our last store to go to. That's our last stop on the fiber trail. Yay! That will also give me time to wash my shirt, because you get like 2 entries in most shops for their like shop prize if you wear your merch. So definitely gonna do that. Let's go find food, because I'm hungry. And I still have Chinese food in my fridge from yesterday. But I'm like 2.5 hours from home, so maybe not quite, maybe it's more like 2 hours. So I need a snack of some sort. All right, let's go get food, and then I'll see you next time we go to a yarn store. All right, so we are now at Tuesday the 8th. Still haven't gone to my last yarn store, but I'm hoping to be able to sneak up there tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But in just a few days, guys, look how green it's getting. Oh my gosh. So I think I'm gonna order another section of electric fence, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just like fence in a small section. So it's like 100 feet. So it's like a, 25-foot square, like on each side, which I think will be sufficient for the 2 little buddies. But look at this. Oh my gosh. They're gonna love eventually getting out and like going to town. Just, Amelia's been a little sassy when I've let her out, and she's gone where she's not supposed to go. But maybe now they'll behave. I said, what do you think? What do you think, buddy? So little man's also getting some dewormer today. His eyes were looking a little pale. I couldn't tell if his tummy was maybe a little bloated. It might not have been. He might have just eaten. But yeah, oh my goodness. Dewormer day. Dewormer day. I know. Hi. Yeah, he happily took the syringe because he thought it was a bottle. And then as soon as he started swallowing, he's like, this is not milk. This is not milk. She wants the bucket, but look at all these snacks. Miss, look. Ow. She just jumped on me. You are surrounded by vegetables. Come on. Look. Look at the variety of vegetables. Eat a salad first. Eat a salad. Oh, he's a good boy. Are you eating your vegetables? Be a good example. Oh, you just like stepped on him, miss. Can you, oops, sorry buddy. Can you see her? The little snot went back in her pen because she wants her snacks. You are the laziest sheep. You're so lazy. But Cornelius is being a good boy and eating. Where'd he go? Look at that. Oh, it's Miss. All right, let's go get snacks. Oh, now Cornelius just stepped on my foot. All right, let's go. Is that the good stuff? Oh my gosh, I can't even tell with the sun glaring like this if you can actually see me or not, but we're up in Fredericksburg. We're gonna go to Finnigan's Run. I'm really glad that I overheard a conversation the other day when I was at Dances with Wool about the fact that they don't have a sign up yet, and so just trust the GPS and go for it, because otherwise I would have no idea where to find this place. But we're gonna go and take a look and see what they have. So all I can say is thank goodness today was payday, so the budget reset, and I'm glad I waited because I went a little crazy. Like, not too bad, like I restrained myself. Such a cute store. I don't know that this would be like my go-to store for like just general shopping. They did have some really nice selections of like various like commercials or like Barocco and Noro and things like that. Good sized store. People in it super nice, although to be fair, I haven't been in a lot of yarn stores where you could say that the staff was not super nice. I think I've probably only had like one bad experience, not this time, but in general, and to be quite frank, that store is not even open anymore. So yeah, super great. really cute accessories. I don't know if it was like just for the yarn crawl or if they have them all the time, but all types of like little cards and tins and stitch markers. So that was a lot of fun. They had some nice samples out. I particularly liked, there was a crochet tee. I think it was out of Barocco yarn, is out of one of their lookbooks, I think. And I thought that would be an interesting make. I didn't get any yarn for it because I'm not 100% sold on a crochet t-shirt. But it's open enough. I think if you wore over like a cute tank top or as like a beach cover up or something, I think that would be really cute. What else did they have I liked? Oh, they had these knitting kits for like knitted dolls, and they gave you like just like the right amount of yarn to make the pattern, and it's like all in one little kit. So if you're a knitter who wants to try out some amigurumi, I thought that was a really cute idea. I didn't look at the price, but I'm sure they're expensive but not like out of control. They had a really nice trunk show from 29 Bridges, which I've heard of them before, but I've never like seen their stuff in person. Really pretty colors. I did get a few things from them, so I'll talk about that when I go through my entire haul. What did I like? Oh, I thought the Henry hat was cute. That was a DK weight, but I've got, I don't know. We'll save that. We'll talk more about that, about plans. But they had the Henry hat, which is really cute, which was a DK weight held with the fluffy Surrey alpaca and silk base. What else did they have? They had a cowl. I think it takes 2 skeins of the DK yak blend. It was it's Andrea Mowry. I'll put the name up somewhere. But I thought that was like a really just kind of like simple, snazzy looking cowl. And their yak base is the same as my yak base. So I didn't buy any because their colors are also similar to what I dye up. So I'm still thinking about like, you know, making that cowl for myself though. Super pretty. It had a really nice rack of samples. I don't know if those are samples that are in the store all the time, or if they came with the 29 Bridges trunk show. I didn't pay attention to the tags to see if they were made out of 29 Bridges yarn or just in general. Probably should have done that. What else was really cool in that store? I feel like there was something else I took a picture of. Oh, they had candles from the Linden Candle Company, I think that's what it was called. The lavender lemon was fantastic, and the cranberry marmalade. I'll put up pictures and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But they were like $30, but they were a really big candle. But I'd already maybe possibly bought a candle from somewhere else, so I didn't want to buy another one. Not to give too much away of the purchases. But yeah, so in general, super cute store. Definitely gonna reach out to see if they want to do a trunk show, but we'll worry about that in the future. All right, so crawl is all done. We'll get lunch. We'll eventually get home so I can drop my stuff off, and then we'll do some sort of recap, but I also have to go to work because it's a work day. All right, see you guys later. My poor shelf looks so bare behind me. I'm gonna have to take some of my extra yarn from the other side and put up here just to make it look a little bit better again. It looks so sad. That's okay. So it's Monday. Dogwood Fiber Trail was over on Saturday, but I had 2 big markets this weekend. Well, not really big markets, but they were markets and they went really well. We'll put it that way. And it was super stressful because Cornelius went to his first petting zoo. I just tried to explain all this and had to start over again, but let's suffice to say that there was no actual petting zoo, and just a few people like brought like rabbits or chickens like in small cages, and they weren't all in the barn together, and they were just at individual tents all over the place, and my tent was nowhere near the barn, and it was very stressful. But anyway, somebody ended up having a dog lead in their car, and so I hooked Cornelius up, and he just walked around all day with me on a leash. He is such a good boy. I don't think he's ever going to want to do something like this again, but we live and we learn, right? But anyway, it was a great market. It was like a local ag fest sort of thing. Hope they do it next year. I would totally go back. Again, knowing now what I know. It's fine. It's fine. And it also had been really rainy, so the mud was insane. All my stuff was covered in mud. And then I had my usual second Sunday. And so here we are now on Monday, getting ready to go to work, but I had to do a recap because I'm so excited and I actually want to bust out some of these things to actually use. So I managed to put everything I got in my fiber trail bag. And actually someone yesterday at Second Sunday they bought some yarn for me, and they're like, I'm going to put it in my Dogwood Fiber Trail bag. And I'm like, I have one of those. I finished. Did you finish? They didn't finish, but that's okay. So super excited to show you what I got. Let me go ahead and pull all my stuff out, and then I'll show you. All right, let's see if we can remember the order that I actually got this in, because it is getting mighty fuzzy at this point. So if you remember, I had set myself a strict budget, and then I got paid. My budget like reset. So I went a little crazier toward the end of the trail, but I'm still really happy with what I decided to get. So first shop I went to was Yarn Matters, and they had a trunk show from CMS Supply Co. And they had hand-dyed yarn. They'd actually done like a show colorway for Yarn Matters. But I really liked their candles. I got the grapefruit mint one. They had another one that was like desert sunset or something that was really good. And bamboo citrus was the other one, but I went with this one, the grapefruit mint. It's like really light and like fruity, and I don't know, it's everything that I like in a candle. Hand poured in Virginia, soy candle. Really excited about that. They also had like wool washes and a few other things. I went on their website. They don't have a ton listed right now, but I would definitely check them out. They do have an online store. So this was from Yarn Matters. Then I went to Baa Baa Yarn, or Baa Baa Sheep. At Baa Baa Sheep, I got one of these yarn cake sleeves. Who is it by? From Neko Mitch Creations, Yarn Cozy. I'll put up the name on the screen, and this might be an abbreviation. I'll see if I can look them up. It's got cute little, I don't know if you can see that, cute little kitty cat tag on it with yarn. And I've always wanted to try one of these. I almost wish that I had waited until Center of the Yarniverse, because they had some really, really cute ones. But I didn't want to buy a second one when I already had this one that I got. But I really love the floral fabric, and it does feel pretty springy. Some of these I've seen don't feel like they have like a lot of stretch. I feel like they would eventually like not snap back to your yarn really well. But I think this one will be great. And then they also gave me their shop stitch marker. Let's get focus. This is as good as it's gonna get. It's a cute little sheep. So I got that. Then I went to Village Knittery in Newport News, and I got myself a wrist ruler. They only had, they were all labeled natural, but some of them were a dark brown, and some of them were like more of a tan neutral. And so, haven't tried it on yet. I just took it out of the container, but go on. I think I'll also try it a couple of times because it's new and I can't do this one-handed. Come on. The people were really funny there when I was buying it. They're like, oh, have you tried one before? And I'm like, no, I haven't. Like, I've always thought they were really cool. I've always wanted one, so I decided to pick one up now. And the woman who, I don't know if she owns the shop or if she just works there, she was like, yeah, I was telling, the other guy how I wanted to get, like, a tattoo of a ruler on me. And he was like, why don't you just get one of these instead? And she's like, yeah, that makes sense. But I still want a tattoo of a ruler. And so it just fits around the wrist, and then now it's portable. I thought it would also be cute. You could put, like, wrap it around the strap of your knitting bag. So, yeah, got myself a little wristlet ruler. Okay, and then our next stop was at Center of the Yarniverse. I knew what I wanted from there. I go there all the time, so I know what they had. But I've always wanted to try the collage square needles, but I was never sure like what size I wanted to get. So I went with a US size 2 because my hat, my muscle burra hat that I'm currently working on, I'm almost to the point where I need double pointed needles again. And so I thought that would be a fun project to try it out on. And I don't know if you can see, but they're square. And I think kind of the point of it is it makes it more ergonomic, so the needles aren't always like naturally rolling in your hand, like you have a better grip on it. And I'm curious to see what that does to like knitting speed and also like tension and consistency. But I'm really excited to try those. So Center of the Yarniverse purchase was collage needles. Then I went to Dances with Wool and fell off the wagon a little bit and got a yarn purchase. So they had a trunk show from Terrapin, which specializes in plant-based fibers, which, if you don't know, when you dye yarn, protein-based fibers, I forgot they were called for a second, so like wool, silk, things like that, you need an acid in order to get the dye to strike. Plant fibers are the opposite, and you need a base. So it makes sense for a lot of companies who concentrate on either protein fibers or on plant-based fibers, because if you do both, you've got to have two totally different kind of dye setups. So one of the things that I really liked from them, they had a lot of really great cotton yarn, but they also had this 100% tencel. And so, to show it to you, so it's Terrapin Fiber Works. I don't know if is there a name for this? Severn Light Fingering. Like I said, it's 100% tencel, and it's like really shiny, not a lot of stretch to it. So I wouldn't do anything that needed to like snap back. I thought this was really pretty. And they apparently had sold out of a lot of it like nearly right away. So there weren't a lot of options left by the time I got there. But I ended up getting this as the combination. Like I already have a ton of things that are like in the purple category because I've been like super into purple lately. But I really liked this one. I wanted it as the like, oh, by the way, there's a shawl. I don't know if I showed it to you previously in the other thing, but I'll pop it up here. And I really want to make this shawl out of it. It takes 2 skeins. And so I thought this would be pretty for the lighter one. And then I needed for the kind of lace portion along the bottom, I wanted something that was more solid. And they had a really pretty like chocolate colored one. It was like mousse, something or other. It has something to do with mousse. But I ended up going with this kind of darker burgundy color. So this one's called Bramble and this one's called Bouquet. But I spent like all week, and they gave me a little stitch marker too. How cute is that? Little dogwood on it. I spent all week thinking about it. And this really is like my color palette, but I feel like it's like everything that I have, right? And so I went back and I got this one. Because I feel like I just kept thinking about this brighter purple, and even though it's like not something I would usually work with, it's not really my color palette, I really tend to lean toward like these darker colors. I just felt for that particular style of shawl and to go out of my comfort zone that I really needed this brighter purple, which is Superfood. So now I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Yeah, I've got no idea, but we'll maybe dig into our one skein projects on Ravelry and find something that I can use just one of these for. Because it does have 437 yards, so it's pretty decent. But that was my purchase from Dances with Wool. I did want to get the Doodle Directory, but I didn't have enough money the first time I went. It would have put me out of my budget. And then when I went back, they were sold out. But eventually, we'll get a Doodle Directory. Oh, and I forgot. I also got a lotion bar. So this is so cute. I got the lemongrass one. It smells absolutely delightful. And somebody was saying because lemongrass is an insect repellent, they were wondering if this would work on insects like during the summer. But look how cute that is. It's like just a little, yeah. It smells really good. And they even had an unscented one too. They had a lavender mint one that was really nice. I don't remember what else they had. But I really like the lemongrass. So that's what I got there. And then we went over to Charlottesville and went to Magpie Knit. Now, unfortunately, they had already had their like shop drawing for the day when I got there. And so they're like, I can't give you like a, what you call it, like a ticket or anything, because they'd already done their drawing. But they gave me a ruler instead. I was like, ruler? That's not right. A tape measure. Oh my gosh, I know what I'm talking about. So tape measure. And then they had a lot of really pretty yarn, as I told you in the video. But there just wasn't anything that I like needed. And so I got this cute little sheep pin instead. So that'll be able to go on one of my bags. So super, super cute. And then My last stop was Finnigan's Run up in Fredericksburg, and I think I'm going to have to add that to my favorite yarn shop list, which all these shops were great. Would totally go, recommend if you're in the area to go. Dances with Wool and Center of the Yarniverse tend to be my go-to shops. I might have to add this one in, even though it's up in Fredericksburg. So cute. Okay, so first of all, I've been wanting a bag of some sort, and I really want a bag with derpy sheep on it. How cute is this? This is from Emma Ball, and look at that stupid little face. Oh my gosh, he has a wrinkle in the middle of it. Let me see the other side. Look at that. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Sorry. Yeah, but I love the size of this. A lot of drawstring bags tend to be like taller or more narrow, but this is nice and wide, and it still like squinches down really well. So I love the size of this. It's perfect for a project on the go. And they had some other really cute bags too, but this is the one that was like really speaking to me. And then I really fell off the wagon here. I walked in and they had a really cute table of like notions and stuff that you probably saw in the video. And they had these little tins. Well, getting a little stitch marker tin has been on my list for a while. And this one is so gosh darn cute with a little sheep and the alpaca with their little scarves on. I think I took a picture that shows it better and I'll pop it up here. So stinking cute. And I looked at the price and I'm like, that's really expensive for a tin. Why is it so much? And then I realized they actually have stitch markers inside. I'm like, okay, sold. I'll get it, whatever. Didn't bother to look at the stitch markers inside. Like I had kind of, like one of them was half slit open and I saw that there was like something. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, right? Guys, how, oh my gosh, you can't even see. There we go. They've got all the little like sheep and alpaca and like their little sweaters. Oh my gosh, they are so stinking cute. So yeah, these are also Emma Ball as well. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But then they also had a trunk show from 29 Bridges, and their yarn is not necessarily, here's, got a card. I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. And so anyway, so the 29 Bridges trunk show, I thought their colors were really pretty. Not all of it were bases that like I super loved. Like their sock one, again, had nylon in it. But I found this mini skein set, which it's 75-25. 460 yards total, 5 mini skeins, and all their mini skein sets were one of a kind, which I thought was really interesting, which I thought would actually be kind of a cool, I always feel bad, not feel bad, but like, no, I feel bad, using up skeins of yarn to experiment with different colors, because I always feel like, it's a one-off, I needed to do it because I needed to practice with this, I needed to get the color just right, but it's really hard to sell those one-off skeins of yarn. But what happens if you're doing like a bunch of experiments and like creating a collection, and then those experimental skeins you broke down and you turn them into one-of-a-kind mini sets? Like that would be super cute. So I thought that was a great idea. And I haven't checked this out yet, but there's a little QR code with ideas for making with mini skeins. One of the things that I did like, they had the Henry hat, which is just a cute like little cabled hat. And it's supposed to be in DK weight, held with a like a mohair or a Surrey alpaca or whatever. And so I thought, how cute would it be to do a DK hat, whether it's the Henry hat or I do another muscle burr or something, do it in the DK weight, but holding two of these together to like marl it. So I could stripe it, but like marling these colors together would look fantastic. And then I got this as my Surrey alpaca and silk in the color pink peppercorn to hold together. Like how cute would that be as a combination? So we're going to do something with that. I don't know what exactly, but definitely going to do something with that. And then, crap. I ended up with an extra. I didn't mean to buy this. That's okay. Did I buy it? I did. crap. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, anyway, oopsies. So they also had a linen merino single. 70% organic wool, 30% linen. I think this is the same base that I use, except that there's two versions of it. One is a single and one is a 2-ply. I get the 2-ply because that's always my favorite. But I thought it would be really interesting. They had the Salty Days tee done in this yarn, and the size they were showing just used 2 skeins. But looking at the pattern, I feel like I would need 3 skeins, especially if it's a little bit cropped. So I might want to add a couple inches in the body. And so I was just worried that 2 would not give me the fit that I wanted. But I thought, how fun would it be to do the same project, one in a linen single and one in a linen double, just to see what the difference is in like the drape and feel of the shirt and see if it makes any sort of difference. And doing that with a t-shirt, I felt like would be reasonable. It's not like you're trying to do like a sweater or something like that. Yeah, so I got some peppercorn, but they only had 2, and so I had them order me 3, and I don't know if they're going to send them to me or just email me when it comes in. I can go pick it up, one or the other, but got some of those as well, and I think I accidentally ended up with an extra one, but we'll figure it out in the end. And I also got their stitch marker. Again, it's another one of those dogwood. Oh my gosh. Can you see it? Another little flower. So, super cute. So that's everything I got, the fiber trail. So a pin, a wrist ruler, a candle, a yarn koozie, too much yarn, a lotion bar, stitch marker tin. So overall, I think a pretty good haul. So that's what I got. Highly recommend checking out any of these shops. If you go to any of these shops or have been to any of these shops, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you like best about them. And I will see you next time, probably for a recap on how my April knitting went. I never told you how my March knitting went. So we're halfway through the month. I figure I might as well just do it all at one time. So, see you guys later.